Hey guys, before we begin this afternoon's live stream, I just want to give a massive shout out to TBC Live. Guys, TBC Live is a fantastic way to interact with all your favorite content creators. You can predict the outcome of NRL games as they're live. You can predict stuff, whether it be, a 40-20, someone to score a try within 20 minutes, someone to run for 100 meters, whatever it may be. There's so much you can do on TBC Live. So guys, download the app today, and massive thank you to TBC Live for sponsoring the channel. Anyway, let's get into this afternoon's agenda. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Nick from Australia YouTube channel for your Thursday afternoon. It is September 19, 2024, 4:32 p.m. in the afternoon. We are about, We're about 27 hours away from kickoff, really. Sharks versus Cowboys tomorrow night. Big semi-final at Allianz Stadium. I will be there. I'm heading down there tonight, so should be a lot of fun. But just like last week for the elimination final, we've got Callan on to help me preview the game. How are you, Callan?
Yeah, good, mate. Very excited about tomorrow night's game. Can't wait.
It's going to be a good one, man. Obviously, the night's game was a lot tougher than what we thought it would be, but the Sharks, we got a lot of history with the Sharks in finals games, and it's going to be very interesting to see how it all goes tomorrow night. Of course, hello to everyone that's watching. Jason Reeder's in the chat. Lockie's in the chat. Not the biggest crowd at the moment, but hey, when you go live on a Thursday afternoon, some people are still at work and some people are still just trying to get home and whatever. So I can understand why the audience wouldn't be that big right now, but I'm sure everyone will watch it back later on. But make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, guys. That's probably the most important thing. And if you haven't subscribed to Callan's channel yet, make sure you go and subscribe to it. The link to his channel is in the description box down below. But Callan, mate, Sharks, Cowboys tomorrow night. Are you feeling confident going into this one?
Yeah, mate. Pretty confident. I think it's going to be a lot harder game. There's a lot of threats. But I think we're going to learn a lot of lessons from our poor defence. So I think we'll be better for the trot. It's always good to learn a mistake and have the victory rather than the other way around.
Yes. We will get to the Sharks and what players worry us, I suppose. But having a look at the two lineups, there isn't really any changes for the Cowboys. It's the exact same side that played against the Knights last week, although there is a little doubt on Jeremiah Nanai. He is carrying a shoulder injury. So from what I understand, if Nanai ends up being ruled out, then Kula Kefu Finifuiaki will go to the second row, and Thomas Michele would end up on the bench. So At least we got some really good cover there if Nanai happens to get ruled out. So do you think Nanai will play?
I hope so. Yeah, I'm not too sure, to be honest, but it'll be a big loss for us, that's for sure. He's very dangerous.
Yes. He's shoulder injuries, they're a bit funny to play with. I mean, sometimes you can have an injection and they can needle you up and you'll be good to go. Sometimes it's the other way around where you can't really do much about it. You just got to get on with it. But I'm sure he'll be needled up for tomorrow night. Now, for the Sharks, not many changes for them. They got the same team as last week. Talakai ended up starting at center last week because Rayman was ruled out with an injury. At this stage, Talakai is going to play right center, so he'll be up against Valentine Holmes. If Talakai doesn't, so there's a chance that Talakai could move back to the bench with Ramian potentially coming back into the centers, and then that would mean I'm assuming Jack Williams would probably drop out onto the reserves. Now, what surprises me a little bit is that Hamlin Uweli can't even make the 17 for the Sharks. He's a big, damaging middle forward, so I'm a little bit surprised that he isn't even in the side for Cronulla. But pretty similar sides from last week. The Sharks team is pretty much unchanged when they played Melbourne, and our side's unchanged from the elimination final against the Newcastle Knights. Let's have a look at some of the obviously the important players for the Cowboys. Who would you say is our most important player, Callum?
Toss up between Dearden and Drinky.
Yeah.
So dangerous, them two. They're the ones that ask the most questions.
I'd probably say Drinkwater because he's ball playing at fullback and he can set stuff up and create stuff from anywhere on the field. As with Dearden, I think Dearden just plays what's in front of him and he sort of just takes them on. Drinkwater, on the other hand, he's sort of everywhere on the field. And, yeah, I think Drinkwater's probably a bit more important. But Dearden, hell of a player, man. Pretty much won us the game last week with that try at the end against the Knights. Now, there's a bit of finals history between us and the Sharks, Callan. We've played them in a number of finals games. 2013, we played them for the very first time in the finals, and they beat us by 2 points there, 20-18. That was because of the 7-tackle try that they got through I think it was Bo Ryan. So we know how controversial that game was. Then in 2015, we got a bit of revenge and we beat them 39-0 in the semi-final up there in Townsville. And then another year later, in 2016, the Sharks beat us in the preliminary final. I think it was 32 points to 20. And then another year later, we played them again, which is crazy. 2017, we beat the Sharks at Allianz in week 1 of the finals, where no one thought we would win. I think it was 15 points to 14. And then we met them 5 years later in the 2022 qualifying final, where we beat them 32-30 in Golden Point. We were down by 8 in that game with about 7 minutes to go. I was at that game. We did well to win that. And we meet again. We meet them again. So, bit of a modern-day rivalry between the Sharks and the Cowboys. Would you agree with that, Callum?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was there in 2015 in Townsville when we pumped them, and
yep.
I was in the car park for the 2016. That was very heartbreaking, that one.
Yeah, that was a long night. I think we were getting flogged, and then we made a bit of a late comeback, but the game was well and truly over anyway. But we've beat the Sharks in the last 2 finals games, and I think that might give the boys a bit of confidence. We also beat the Sharks last time we played them up there in Townsville in round 21, 30-22. So, look, I know there's a stat going around where the Sharks have won their last, I think it's 11 from 13 against us, but we have beat them in a fair few big games over the years. The Sharks haven't beat us in a finals game in Sydney since 2016 when they won the comp. So, you know, we beat them in Sydney in 17, and we beat them in Sydney in 22. So hopefully we can do it again and book ourselves a spot in the preliminary final against the Panthers next week. So it's going to be a big game regardless. Now, Callan, I know sadly you're not going to be at the game, which absolutely sucks. But for those that want to know about tickets and how many they've sold, having a look at the Ticketek app and how many tickets are roughly left. The capacity at Allianz is about 42,500. I think there's going to be at least 30,000, maybe 35,000 there tomorrow night. So probably be a similar atmosphere to what it was against the Bulldogs, but there'll be more people around us instead of all the empty seats. So it's going to be a big game regardless. For the Sharks, Cullen, who worries you for the Sharks looking at their team?
Will Kennedy's pretty dangerous.
Yep.
And Trindle.
Braden Trindle, yep.
Like Nico Hines, don't get me wrong. Like Phil Gould said, he hasn't got too many tricks up his sleeve. Yep. And, I tend to agree with him. But Nico Hines is probably what you said about Dearden. He plays what's in front of him. Yep. And when things don't go to plan, he does struggle.
Well, I'll tell you what worries me about the Sharks, because if you put the teams together, it's a very evenly matched game of footy. But what worries me a little bit, I think the Sharks bench can really cause some damage. Like, they've got some impact off that bench. Like Royce Hunt, Tom Hazelton, someone like Daniel Atkinson who can come on the field and play literally any position. They've got some big boppers to worry about. Royce Hunt, Tom Hazelton, when they come on the field, probably around the 20th, 25th minute, we've got to make sure that we limit their impact, because a lot of our big boys are starting, Tamalolo, McLean, Cotter. A lot of them are starting the game. So I think it's really important that we get off to a really good start, because we've got a very mobile pack. Like, we got Cotter as that loose forward, and then you got obviously the edges, Lukey, Nanine, and the experienced middle of McLean and Tamalolo. I think we need to get the start well, because, like, no disrespect to Toby Rudolph and Oregon Kafusi, McLean and Tamalolo definitely have the upper, they definitely have the upper end there. So we're going to watch out for the Sharks bench. Like, our bench is great, don't get me wrong. Finney Fuiaki, McIntyre, and Neem, they'll all do a great job. Harrison Edwards, they'll all rip in. But Royce Hunt and Hazelton, they can have a big impact on the game, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said about Daniel Atkinson,
yeah,
he is a really good player, and he does cause a few headaches.
Yeah, we got to keep an eye on him. Because he is a bloody handful. Now, there's been a few people in the Cowboys group chat and on a few social media platforms saying that we should drop Viliami Vialea. As much as people want, Jackson Purdue in the centers, or Tom Chester, or even a Braden Burns, I think it would be a really, really bad decision to make a change right now, especially in the backs. Like, unless there's an injury, I wouldn't be changing anything. What about you?
Yeah, I'm the same. Like, I think a lot of our fans are, they're not, to me, their opinions are sort of just based on personal, what they like.
Yeah.
Rather than, like you say, we're winning. If all the points were coming through him, then maybe I'd be sort of sharing their opinion. But a big game like this, the combinations, I think it's very important that we stay solid.
Yeah, exactly right. And, like, you look at Viliami Vialea, sure, might not be a top 10 center in the NRL or anything like that, but he's up against a rookie as well in Iro. So Vilea only really come on the scene this year, and Iro is another one that sort of come on this year as well. So it's a good battle. Two young centers, they'll probably outdo each other. I'm sure it's going to be a good battle between those two. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Well, I was a bit critical of him when he first come, because I didn't like the fact that he didn't pass the ball enough, but just the amount of the tries that Kyle Feldt scored, well, he has been passing it enough, obviously.
Better.
Yeah.
I think Viliami Vialea, like, mid-season, few people were going, why is he in the team still? But I think, like you said, combinations, it's very important. And Felt's getting the ball. Everyone's
Yeah.
getting the ball. Jeremiah Nanai's setting up on that right edge with a quick offload or whatever it may be. I think Viliami Vailea is going fine. I think he's going well. Now, obviously, a couple of key matchups this weekend. We'll go over a couple. Cameron McInnes versus Ruben Cotter. I'm sure those two will bash the living hell out of each other. You got Britton Nakora versus Helam Lukey, two absolute gun back rowers. Reece Robson versus Blake Brayley, two really good New South Wales hookers, even though Robbo's a Cowboy, but two really good number 9s. And then obviously you got Will Kennedy versus Scotty Drinkwater and whatever, and Dearden versus Hines. What do you think's the best matchup out of them all? Which one do you think is the best battle to look forward to?
Yeah, I think the Ruben Cotter
Versus
and
McInnes.
Yeah, because they both got dummy half backgrounds as well.
Yeah.
And they're both, like every time McInnes in a post-match interview, he looks like he's been to war every time.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And McInnes will probably make about 50-odd tackles tomorrow night. I'm sure Cotter will probably be around the same. So it's going to be massive. Now, believe it or not, people are going to be a little bit surprised about this, but the betting odds are saying that the Sharks are $1.60 favourites and the Cowboys are $2.35. Now, I don't want to bag the Sharks too much here because they don't control the odds, but for a team like the Sharks, who have lost their last 2 finals games against the Cowboys, and the Sharks haven't won a finals game themselves since 2018 in the semi-final against Penrith, I think the Cowboys at $2.35 is absolutely crazy value. I think it's insane.
I think they were very ordinary against the Storm as well.
Yeah, they were. I mean, we saw a fair bit of that game at the Cowboys Lease Club before we were on the march to the stadium. And I thought in the first half, the Sharks, they tried really hard and they were only down by 4 points at halftime. And then second half began and they just couldn't crack Melbourne in that opening 10 minutes. And then Melbourne just went bang, bang, and that was pretty much all she wrote. So I think the Cowboys need to get off to a really good start. But I think the Sharks will be doing the same because the way the Sharks started last week was poor as. I think Melbourne kicked off, and then I think the Sharks knocked the ball, knocked it on and it went dead. And then Munster scored in the first 2 minutes. So the Sharks won't want that to happen again. And for us, I thought we started okay against the Knights, and we got that intercept try, but I thought we were pretty flat in that first 25 minutes, that first half.
Yeah, I think Knights did really well to defend. I was very worried at halftime that we were finding it very hard to bust through.
I wouldn't say I was worried. I was more pissed off with our attitude and how we were playing because I'm like, okay, come on now. It's elimination final. It's in Townsville. Everyone's here. To be down 12-4 at halftime, we've got to be better than this. And then we started off really well, and then obviously the rest is history now. But let's get into some predictions for tomorrow night. Huge game, looking forward to it. And if you guys want to know where I'm sitting, obviously I'm in the Cowboys supporters bay. I'm in the front row, so you won't be able to miss it. That's for bloody sure. And all right, so Callan, first try scorer tomorrow night, Sharks Cowboys. Who do you like to score the first try?
Well, I've been tipping Felty and I've been getting it right. I'm going to go him again.
For the third week in a row?
Yep.
Why not?
I think he'll get a double. I think there will be a few tries scored. Him against Mulatalo,
Yeah,
I think that'll be a bit of a battle too. I think that's
it
going to
will
be
be.
quite interesting.
That will be a very good battle. I do agree with that. And obviously, Talangi versus Katoa, there's some really good battles in this game. And they're all fairly even matchups, too. I'm going to go Reece Robson to score the first try. I think last week, with Cronulla letting in 3 tries from dummy half, yes, they'll want to fix up their defense. But I think with our ruck speed, with Ruben Cotter and obviously back rowers like Lukey Nanai, quick play the balls, I can see us going back towards the middle, and I can see Robson scoring the first try. So I'm going to go Reece Robson to score the very first try of the game. Now, what about for an anytime try scorer? Who do you think will score during the game?
Well, I think Nanai will score, but go with a bit of a roughie.
Yep.
Jason. I think Jason's going to
Oh,
score again.
Jason Tamalolo. I don't think he scored a try this year. He's
No,
due.
yeah, and he scored against them. No, I think he scored against them last time we played. I watched a few old games, waiting to come on.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Can't remember if it was.
I remember last week Jordan McLean hadn't scored a try until the weekend, and Tamalolo, I don't think he scored. I don't think he scored one all year. So it makes sense.
Yeah,
I'll just check if he did score against the Sharks last time out. I don't think he did.
might have
No, he
been
didn't.
the
No, he
last
didn't.
year then of the game I was watching.
When we were in 2022 in the finals, we actually Tamalolo scored the try at the end to win. Oh, to get us to
Yeah,
go. One.
that must have been the one because I was watching
Yeah.
all the old games that the
Yeah,
last recent ones anyway.
I like it. So you're going to go first try Kyle Felt and anytime Tamalolo. I like it. I'm going to go first try Reece Robson and anytime. I got a feeling about Scott Drinkwater. I just got a really good feeling about maybe there'll be a line break and then Drinkwater will be in support and he'll score, or maybe there'll be an offload and Drinkwater will just pounce onto it and score. So I'm gonna go with Scott Drinkwater. What about score prediction? What do you think the score's going to be in this game?
32-24.
High scoring game.
Yeah.
32-24 by 8. I like it. I'm going to go fairly high scoring. I'm going to go Cowboys. I'm going to go 25-18. I reckon we'll be up by 6, and then with 4 or 5 minutes to go, I reckon Drinkwater or Val will kick a field goal to sort of seal the deal and get us through to the prelim final next week. So similar scores. You've gone by 8. I've gone by 7. I think it's pretty good. I like it.
I think Val might kick a 2-pointer.
I like it. I like that. I hope it happens. I really like that. All right. Well, that's pretty much it from us. Really appreciate your time as always, Callan. I appreciate you coming on. And cheer on the boys tomorrow from all the way up there in North Queensland.
Yeah, let's give a big shout out to all the Cowboy Stampede fans who helped get Nick to the game on last weekend. What a absolute, phenomenal. I put out the SOS for Nick and, all those fans that answered, if you're watching, thank you very much.
It was, I can't be more thankful for what everyone did, trying to get me up to Townsville, and everyone that was involved in that, I am forever grateful. I really am. And if it wasn't for you, Callan, it wouldn't have happened. So I'm very grateful for you, my friend.
Yeah, my pleasure, mate. My pleasure to get a hardcore fan, and you obviously, worked a bit of your magic and helped cheer the boys. It was a good. The cheering was good. Watching the replays, you could really hear our chant.
Yeah, I watched the replay the other night. It was loud, very loud. So it was good stuff. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Go and check out Callan's channel if you haven't already. The link is in the description box down below. Like and subscribe. Bring it on tomorrow night. Sharks versus Cowboys. Big semi-final. Winner plays Penrith. I believe that game, if we get through, I believe it's going to be a Saturday night game from what I've been told because of the AFL Grand Final. So I believe Melbourne will play a prelim in Friday night next week. And if we get through, we'll be playing Saturday night against Penrith. So makes it easier for everyone to get to the game, I suppose. But thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Cheers, Callan.
Go the Cowboys.
Up the Cowboys.